Welcome back, everybody, to the Ball and Blitz podcast. Joined, as always, by Jaden Seeger, the man, the myth. How's it going?
It's going great over here. How's it going on your end?
It's going splendid, man. It's Feb. What is today? It's February
Third?
3rd. It's February 3rd. We have the Super Bowl in 5 days, right? Yeah, 5 days. Excited about that. We talked about that on the previous podcast. Won't dive into that today. We're going to be doing some draft stuff today. This is the first full draft episode we've done so far.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, it's
excited
coming
for
up.
it.
It'll kind of just be a sprint from now until the draft. I mean,
Yeah.
you might think it's far away. It's at the end of April. It's going to go by so fast. I mean, it really is. You blink and we're going to be sitting here waiting for our picks to get announced. Um, and the Senior Bowl is concluded. We are now on to the NFL Combine. After the NFL Combine, then we're just waiting. That's when we can really get into the nitty gritty of compiling our big boards, getting final grades done, getting true evaluations done. That'll be when the finished product is apparent. Right now, we're kind of just doing a rough draft
Yeah.
of our top 10 for a specific position group. Today we're discussing edges. No real rhyme or reason. It's just the position right now we both feel the most confident in as far as our grades and just what we've seen on tape. So, I mean, if you don't got anything to say, I'm ready to just get straight into
We
it.
can dive right into it.
All right. So we both compiled a top 10. I think the best way to do this would be to go from 10 to 5 or 10 to 6, and then we can do our top 5. And we'll just give a brief. We discussed our lists pre-pod, how we feel about certain prospects that we have ranked in certain areas. Our lists vary pretty. I don't want to say substantially because we do have a lot of the same names on there, especially 1 through 5. But there are some names that you have that I don't, and I have that you don't, that I think would be fun to talk about
Yeah.
a little bit more extensively. The guys that we share a position with, we could break it down a little bit, but yeah, I'd say let's just get into it. Go ahead and run down your 10 through 6, and then I'll follow suit.
All right, from 10 through 6. Sorry, I have to pull that up
That's
so I
okay.
don't mess anything up. 10 through 6. Where am I at? Where am I at? All right, sorry. I have at number 10 Anthony Lucas out of USC. Number 9 I have Zion Young out of Missouri. Number 8 I have Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M. Number what am I on? 7.
Yep.
7. Let me see how we say his name. I have Danny Dennis Sutton out of Penn State, and then for number 6, I believe I have Caden Curry out of Ohio State.
Yes. Okay. I have Cassius Howell at 10, Caden Curry at 9, Keldrick Falk at 8, Romello Height at 7, and Akeem Messidor at 6. So a couple names that we did not share: Romello Height, Akeem Messidor. You had Anthony Lucas. I have not watched Anthony Lucas. Who else did you have that I don't have? You have Zion
Sutton.
Sutton. Yeah. You have denied Dennis Sutton. I have Zion Young higher than
Yes.
6. So, yeah. I guess go ahead and just start with Anthony Lucas. I literally have no background on Anthony Lucas at all whatsoever. So
Yeah,
tell
so
me.
we talked about it at the beginning of the podcast, or before the podcast. I felt pretty good about my 1 through 4, and then like 5, I feel pretty good about too. 6
Hmm.
through 10 was kind of, I have watched all of these guys, not enough because I mean it's February 3rd. I'll get in more into it like in the next couple of weeks,
Hmm.
months leading up to the draft. So this is kind of just real, like this
Baseline.
list will change
Yeah.
1000%. Some of the guys on this list will be off of it. Some guys that are off my list right now will be on it. The order
It's
will switch up
a lot of
completely.
a lot of guys that are like for example, like Cassius Howell is somebody who is so athletically dependent.
Hmm.
He has to be a superior athlete because he is not as technically sound as a lot of these other guys.
Yeah.
If he just bombs the combine, then you have no choice but to drop him lower on your
Yeah.
list. So
Yeah. No, I agree.
it's if he tests like an average NFL athlete, all of a sudden you're not buying into an average NFL athlete with no technical
With
savviness
poor
at all.
tape.
So
Yeah, not poor tape, but
right,
poor. skills,
Yeah, poor
like as a
nuance
pass
throughout the
rusher.
tape, like throughout each game. And there's a couple of guys like, and it won't be as prevalent on edges, or maybe it will be. I think it's more of like a cornerbacks, safeties thing, maybe even linebackers a little bit. Really, just back back four guys that'll be really hinged on the combine because there are a lot of corners that, if the tape is good enough and they just test out of this world athletically, they're naturally just gonna be higher on people's big boards. And like
Oh yeah,
I tend to draft the athlete when it comes to positions like linebacker and safety. So
yeah, linebacker
uh,
and safety especially,
yeah,
and
like
then yeah,
positions like that. I mean, it's almost doesn't even make sense to make a board right now. I think edge does
mm,
make sense, and like we obviously have boards in our head, like just a kind of quiet list of 5 to 10 names at every single position, maybe save quarterback. But it's just impossible to get it nailed down now because sometimes it takes 3, 4 watches over again to finally get like the full picture on a guy's film, and then you add the Senior Bowl on top of that, and the
yep,
the combine on top of that, and then when you know the combine splits, you got to rewatch the tape just to confirm everything. It's a process. So, like Jaden said, basically to just put a bow on this whole rant, everything is fluid. Nothing is. You look at this list right now, come back to it April 20th, it's going to look completely different.
yeah,
I bet every single spot is different, maybe except 1 and 2.
yeah.
So
I mean, my 1, 2, and 3, I feel like won't move at all, but
yeah.
Falk on down for my list, I anticipate to move in some way.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, with that being said, Lucas, I have him 10 because he's not flashy. Like he's not. I don't anticipate him being like a double-digit sack guy
Hmm.
ever. Um, and if he is, then hallelujah, that's like
That's a
awesome.
great
But
player.
I
Yeah.
just think his run defense, his tape in the run game was about as good as anyone in the class, other than
Hmm.
like Ruben Bain
Yeah.
and T.J. Parker and stuff. But like
Hmm.
of the like fringe top, like anywhere from like 5 to 15, his run defense was about as good as it gets
Yeah.
out of those guys. Which I mean, it helps
And
being
those guys
290 pounds.
get drafted early
Yeah.
and they see the field early. It's a lot of like why your favorite pass rushers in the draft don't like they'll get taken and then you just don't see them on the field. But
Mhm.
the random like 4-3 edge they took in the 6th round that fits their what they do schematically is playing because he's able to just simply play on more downs. You're
Yeah.
going to see
Yeah.
the players that play on 1st and 2nd down more than the guys that are 3rd down specialists. So that
Yeah.
role is
100%.
valuable.
I don't think he's gonna be a bad pass rusher.
How much do you
But
say he weighs?
he's listed at what I'm looking at right now says he's 285,
Big dude.
which
Okay.
is the biggest of the guys I have on my list
Yeah, that
by
is
like
the
15 pounds.
yeah, he'd
So
have to shed some weight to
yeah,
really
he'll
yeah.
probably be asked to either lose weight or gain weight, and then if
Mhm.
they're asking him to gain weight, slide him inside, which I
Yeah.
was talking about before the pod. Like
Mhm.
maybe he's on rundowns he plays edge because he's going to be a
Yeah.
good run defender on the edge, but then
Mhm.
on obvious passing downs he slides inside or something for
Yeah. If he
just
can
kind of
win
more.
with if he can win with, leverage and disengagements and technique, then, as long as he's not a wash in the pass rush game, I mean, you'll
Mhm.
get production out of him.
Yeah, and that's my thing is I don't like I said I don't think he's a double digit sack guy, but I think he's a guy who's going to be a productive run stopper,
Mhm.
and I mean I think he's got upside as a pass rusher. Like if he went out and in his like 2nd or 3rd year had like 7, 8 sacks, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
And then you pair that with just good quality run defense, like that's a very valuable guy to have. And I
Mhm.
just felt like I didn't want to leave him out of my top 10 just because guys like that just make it and stick around the NFL for so long, and they just have good long careers.
Yeah. And you almost don't even notice them
Exactly.
their entire career when they're secretly, getting 2nd and 3rd contracts,
hmm
consistently finding the field. Yeah, that archetype plays, and it's not something to be slept on. I mean, and I kind of want to jump to Keldrick Falk here because
Okay.
that's, dude, he's going to be taken in the 1st round. He's not a 1st round pass rusher. That's not what he does at all in the slightest. And matter of fact, I didn't even love like the technique in the run game. He is a phenomenal athlete. He is strong. He has good length. I'd say he moves well for his size.
Mhm.
That does not mean he's going to move super duper well in the NFL. Uh, just a guy that like, but my point being, he's gonna go high because he is pretty stout in the run game. Like I said, he's strong. He's tall. He's taller than a lot of offensive linemen that he's gonna be going up against, especially as he rotates from the interior to the exterior. Tackle to guard, which NFL teams will have him do. He's not just a primary stick him at the edge player.
Mhm.
These guys who are primary run defenders, who are great athletes, who you hope can develop some sort of pass rush acumen, these guys go super high, even if I'm not the highest on them.
Yeah.
Like, would it shock anybody if Keldrick Falk went at like 14, 15? No. No, it wouldn't at all. And not to say that he's 100% going to be a bad player, but he's probably not going to put up crazy production, at least right away. I mean, maybe he does, and I'm just completely blown away. I kind of felt this way about Jared Verse a few years ago, and I got proved wrong on that. But these guys who are just so run game oriented, I guess, they're gonna get taken highly. And frankly, I'm not the biggest fan, but I see the vision with Keldrick Falk. If you can develop the pass rush plan, right? If you can get him to execute on a more consistent basis with his hand fighting technique, if you can develop some counter moves, I really do see the vision with Keldrick Falk. I just think he's so far away. I really just think
Yeah.
he's so
Yeah.
far
No,
away.
that's fair. I have him higher than you by a few spots.
Hmm.
I liked what I saw as a pass rusher more than you did. I don't.
Hmm.
I agree with you that I do think he's raw, but
Hmm.
I just liked it a little bit more than you did. So that's why I have
Yeah,
him a few
and
spots
look,
higher.
I think he has a really nice bull rush. I don't want to like that's not a useless, like pass rush move. It's not my favorite, and I don't think it's the most useful. But if you are, pin your ears back, I think there's worse things to have than a guy that has a really nice bull rush with really good pad leverage on that bull rush specifically.
Yeah. No. I get why you would have him lower.
Hmm.
I just it's hard. Like with it, I project him to be probably one of, if not the best athletes at edge
Yeah. Oh,
during the
for sure.
combine,
Yeah. I mean, he's
and
gonna test like a freak.
yeah, and it's going to be so hard to pass on that because
Hmm.
I don't know if you share this thought with me, but I don't see a whole lot of like super skillful pass rush technique edge rushers in this draft class. Like
No, not at all, actually.
You have Bailey, who I think is an absolute monster. We will talk
Yeah.
about him later.
Yeah.
We have a slight difference there. You
I,
have
I
Bailey.
for that it's like 1A, 1B. I have like zero. It's all schematic
Yeah,
preference.
no,
That's
no,
it.
no, no, that's fair. It was a difference of an eyelash for me.
Right,
But yeah, so you
exactly.
got like Bailey, and then I mean Bain. Those are the two guys that might go in the top 10. And
Hmm.
then after that, it's like I see some skillful like pass rush moves, like a decent bag, more than just one move
Hmm.
in like RMT. I think
Yeah.
he's got a few moves in his bag. But
Hmm.
like even TJ Parker, I'm not gonna call him
I
like a
do
one
like TJ
trick
Parker.
pony, but like I don't think he's like got a super deep skillful pass rush bag.
It's
So
a
I
lot
mean,
of bull rushes and like long arm rushes.
yeah.
And
So it's like
yeah.
he's huge. He's going to be able to reach offensive linemen before they can reach him, and
Hmm.
he's going to be strong enough to move them and fast
Yeah.
enough to get around them. So that's why I had him higher.
Yeah. I
I
think
get why
it's
you have
fair.
him lower though.
I think it's fair. I think for me, I'm looking more at like what will he be on his first contract as opposed to like what he is on his second contract. I think this is like a prime example of someone you let play out on their rookie contract, and then if he doesn't develop, he's probably not going to develop. But if he does, he will get a massive second contract,
Yeah.
like a bag of a second
Oh yeah.
contract.
Yeah.
So, like 100% see the vision. It's like I don't know if like the team. I don't know if the team that drafts him will reap the rewards. I guess
Yeah.
is
No, that's
my
fair.
fair.
I'm. I know that archetype pretty well. I've watched it. I've watched the Packers draft two of them in the last like 5 years with Rashawn Gary
Actually,
and Lucas Van Ness, and they got very different stuff out of both of them. You got
hmm.
both sides of the sword until Gary tore his ACL.
Right.
I don't think he's like super skilled as a pass rusher, but I don't think he's like Shamar. Blanking
Stewart.
on
Yeah.
Shamar
I
Stewart
was
bad. I
actually
don't
going to
think he's
ask you because
LVN bad.
I
So
was kind of thinking the same thing. I think Falk is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a little more comfortable because I think he's better than LVN. I think he's better than Shamar Stewart.
Hmm.
I mean, Shamar Stewart's god awful. So
Yeah, he's bad.
whatever. But like, I trust in it a little bit more than like a guy like that.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Do you want to talk about you had Caden Curry right in your at 6?
Yeah, I had Curry at 6. I did
Okay,
like Curry.
you talked about like skilled pass rushers and how there's kind of like a lack of them. I think Caden Curry, I wouldn't say he's like a hyper skilled player. I think he's really smart,
Mhm.
and what he's asked to do, he executes at a really high level very consistently. He's not somebody that's like he's not going to go test, a 10 RAS score at the combine, but he's somebody when you watch him play, it's really hard to poke flaws in the guy's game because he can win like as a pass rusher, he can win any which way.
Mhm.
He's not super dominant any which way, but he's shown the ability to win. He can win along the edge. He can hold an angle and disengage and get after the quarterback. He can hold an angle in the run game. He can seal the. I mean, he does everything you would want as a pass
Mhm.
rusher. I think the fear, and it's not really a fear. I know he's going to be a good player. It's just what does the ceiling look like
Yeah,
when
no,
you're
I
a
agree.
average NFL athlete as opposed to a dominant college athlete.
Yeah, no, I 100% echo everything you said. I had him higher than you.
Hmm.
I just think he kind of does everything fine. Like he's just fine everywhere. Like I
Right.
don't see any true weaknesses in his game. I mean, you can say athleticism because I don't think he's going to test unbelievably well, but I don't think he's going to be a horrible athlete. But
No.
when I watch him, I don't know if I'm off base here, but when I watch him, I can't get Preston Smith out of my head. Like it's just all I see.
Yeah.
It's just uh, like he's got a couple moves. None of them are special. He gets after the quarterback enough. He is competent in the run game enough. He's like smart with his angles. Doesn't over pursue. Keeps the quarterback in the pocket. Lets his teammates like make plays. And like when I'm watching him, I just see just like it's just Preston Smith.
A good football player. Yeah, and
Yeah, just
those guys are hard to pass on. Like I'm not like downplaying being a good football player. Obviously that's important. There's just like the edge is one of those positions where dude there are a lot of measurables you absolutely have to hit. And if you
mhm.
don't hit those measurables, you better be fucking very technically sound. And I do
Yeah.
think he fits that archetype and that's why like him being in my top 10, like at the bottom of my top 10 means he's like the 55th player on my board.
Yeah,
He's
no,
a
I
second
agree.
round pick in my eyes. So
Yeah, I agree. I have him in I have him with the
this is
second round grade as well.
this is the deepest position, save linebacker, in the draft, in my eyes, and not because it's like, oh man, you got three generational guys at the top, and then no, it's like after the top two guys, it's just good player, good player, good
Mhm.
player. There's some flaws in between, but like that when you're picking, like late first round, second round, you have to work around those flaws, and there's like with every prospect we're going to talk about, save maybe I'd say Bane because I think Bane has less flaws than Bailey does,
I would
but
agree with that.
Bailey's strengths are just like, dude, he could lead the league in sacks. Like
Yeah,
he's that good.
that was why I have Bailey ahead.
Yeah, and we can get into that, but like Caden Curry, no problem with him being where he is. He's a
Yeah,
good
no.
football player, and he's gonna get taken high, and he's gonna play right away. I mean, we discussed, or I said Jack Sawyer pre-pod. It's like if Jack Sawyer, who's like the antithesis of Caden Curry, can make a. I mean, he played for the Steelers. That's not some like nothing edge group. He got
Mhm.
play early, and was productive early. I have a hard time seeing Caden Curry like not live up to
Yeah.
that standard.
Mhm.
So, but who else do you have on your list? Run through it again one more time.
So I have Young at 9, which I know you're higher on.
We can talk about him later.
Okay. I have Howell and Sutton. You kind of touched on Howell.
Yeah, go
Um,
ahead and see. I watched. I don't know if it's Danny or Deny, but I watched Danny Smith Sutton a little bit. I have not watched him fully enough to put him on my top 10. I know a lot of people like him. I know he's a incredible athlete
yeah.
and like a huge human being. So, yeah, I mean, we could tell me a little bit about Denai Dennis Sutton, and then I'll talk about Cassius Howell, and then we could jump to our 5 through
So
1.
you were talking about Bailey and Bane with like Bailey maybe having a few more flaws than Bane, but Bailey's
Yeah.
like ceilings like getting a ton of sacks.
It's insane.
Like just
He could win a
wreaking
depoy
havoc.
if he hits his 100th percentile outcome. I guess I could say that for both those guys, but like Bailey
Yeah, no, I
especially
get what you
because
mean,
he's
though.
the dude that could come in and have a 20 sack season.
Yeah, yeah. That's I'm not saying Sutton's gonna be a 20 sack guy, but that's
Right.
kind of why I have Sutton high, because like he's got more flaws than Curry. He's got more flaws than Young and Howell, who I both actually probably not Howell, but Young, who I have behind him. But the ceiling with him is just, I mean, his ceiling's a low to mid-teen sack guy. Whether he hits
Yeah.
it, probably not. But I mean, he's going to be a great athlete. He's going to test super well, I think. He's very large, but he's not. He's kind of lean. Like he's not very heavy. I mean, I can
Like
check
he carries it well.
Yeah, I guess he's heavier than I thought. Okay, he's a little bigger than I thought, but he's 6'5", 260, 265.
Yeah, I remember him being a pretty big dude.
Okay,
And
so
like
I
people
thought he
didn't
was a
really
little
know what
lighter
to
than
make
that,
of him
but
preseason.
him moving the way he does at 265, I might be even a little higher on him than I am. But
Yeah.
he has special bend for a guy who's 6'5", 265, and he's got a crazy motor. And just kind of like he's skillful, and if I'm gonna bet on someone like in the late first to mid second, like as a pass rusher, like I'm gonna bet on the dude that's a great athlete and has a high motor. He doesn't give up. He doesn't stop on plays. He can bend around tackles. He can like get low, and I mean it.
Dude,
His
that's
bend is like it's not like other than like Reuben Bain and David Bailey and T.J. Parker, it's probably the best in the class. He's 6'5", so you would think he's like, if you play in an offensive lineman, say he's like 6'3" offensive tackle, like it's gonna be hard for him to get under that lineman's like hips and get around.
yeah, but I mean
He
like
has
those don't
no
exist in
problem
the NFL, so
Yeah, he has no problem with that. He can just dip right underneath them, and it's a really nice thing to have. And my one thing with him was, especially now that I realized that he's heavier than I thought he was, I was not impressed with his film in the run game.
really.
Yeah, I didn't think it was bad. I'm not gonna come out here and say it was bad, but I definitely was more of a fan of his pass rush and his motor, like getting after the quarterback, than his like commitment to the run. I thought he lost containment quite a bit, like let guys get around him. And I mean, he's such a good athlete that even when he allowed someone to get around him, he was like able to like adjust and like say he came in crashing too hard, running back bounced out, he'd be able to like come back and like force the running back to like bounce again. Problem is you're not going to be able to do that in the NFL. So there's just so many plays where it's like if that's an NFL running back, that's a 5, 6, 7, 8 yard play when it could have easily been stopped at the line of scrimmage just because he was just over aggressive trying to get after the quarterback.
Yeah.
Which I think that's like a fixable issue.
It's a coaching thing. Yeah, I mean it's pass rush integrity. It's
Yeah. That's something you can beat that into the dumbest pass rusher in the draft. Like I'm not terribly worried about it. It was just something I saw.
Minor flaw, technical flaw, and those are the things. Like I'm kind of excited to watch Denai Dennis Sutton because the way you describe him, it kind of just sounds like a mold of a player almost that you'd want at that size with that type of movement ability. And like I've watched him. I just have not dove deep onto like the all 22. I've watched him live. And I've watched a lot of Penn State's offensive prospects. It's not a lot. It's 2 running backs, but I've watched their tape. I have not got to dive into them defensively, and they got a couple guys that I liked. Zane Durant on the defensive line, the little bit I saw of him too. Yeah, I'm excited to look into him for sure.
You want to get into Young, and then we can kind of get into our top 5.
Yeah, sure. We can jump into Zion Young. Yeah, no problem.
You had someone else. You had who was your 6?
Howell. I could talk about Howell real quick.
Okay.
And I did have Messidor, but
Yeah,
I kind of want to leave here. I kind of want to leave Messidor off because I think we should talk about him in the defensive tackles one.
Okay.
Just because I think that's where he is going to primarily play. I think it's going to be like like kind of Kalijah Cansey-ish
Oh
a
yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
So, uh, Cassius Howell. Dude, this is like we have a Cassius Howell or like two or three of them in literally every single draft. It's like, hey, this guy has the best first step in the entire class, and literally nothing else.
Mhm.
There's there's no I don't want to say there's no hand fighting because like he's gonna get taken high in the draft. There's some on his tape, but it is so inconsistent. He has this innate ability to just get sucked into offensive tackle's frame when he can't immediately when the tackle is not setting straight vertically. He is very good whipping around the edge, really good at dipping his shoulder. But when a tackle sets vertically like they're going to do in the NFL, because that's
Mhm.
what they do, he just gets swallowed up entirely. He does not have a deep counter arsenal, I suppose. Like he doesn't have like a dip and rip or a dip and spin or a chop or like really anything, like doesn't even
Yeah.
have like hand fighting or hand swiping. Um, he excels in I'm just faster than you and I'm gonna turn the
Mhm.
corner. And like sometimes those guys do work. Like sometimes they have the right pass rush plan and they get the right matchups and they just work in the NFL. I don't bank on those guys. I do have him on my list though because I do respect the athleticism and I respect the first step and I respect the twitchiness because I think you have to.
Yeah.
Just not a skilled football player right now, but that's not. I mean, that sounds like a knock, but it's really not. There are plenty of not skilled football players that are going to be taken very high
Yeah.
because
Always
they are
is.
incredible athletes. I think Cassius Howell fits that mold. As for Messidor, like I just said, we'll talk about him on the defensive tackles.
All right.
And we can talk about Zion Young now. I have
Yeah.
Zion Young so high. The reason for that, I have him at 3. I think he should go like top 20. And the reason for that is kind of like the same reasons we talked about Caden Curry. He's good at basically everything. Um, really stout in the run game, seals the edge very well, disengages with really good timing. His hand fighting technique is really solid. He knows exactly when to execute certain counter moves. Once again, not like a deep bag of counter moves, but he's got a spin in his game. He's got a dip and rip in his game. Really natural bend around the edge. Incredible motor. Like he will never give up on a play. He will chase the running back 30 yards downfield if he has to, chase the quarterback 50 yards downfield if he has to. Strong hands at the point of attack. Like I could go on and on and on about what this guy does really well at edge. There are not a lot of flaws. I think the flaws with him are more athletically, but not to get confused with like measurables. This guy is an NFL edge. He's 6'5", 250 something with long as shit arms. The only like the only thing that's keeping him from not being listed with these top guys, Bain and Bailey, is because he just does not have the explosion, does not
Yeah.
have like the twitchiness, which is important. That like is super duper important in edge. But I see him and I'm like, why can't he just become Trey Hendrickson? Like why can't he just become that kind of guy where maybe he's not the fastest, maybe he's not the you take a screenshot of as soon as the ball snapped. Maybe he's not the first guy off the line of scrimmage, but he's so smart and strong and powerful that I don't think it's going to matter. I think if you get him in a scheme or on a team where there is a bona fide edge one, so thinking of an example right now on the spot, if he were to be the pick, I was gonna say L.A., but that's not a great example. If he were the pick for like Baltimore, for example, and I'm not exactly sure how much stock they're putting in at edge, but like somebody who with Mike Green on the other side, and then you have to account for everybody else on the defensive line is going to consistently get one-on-ones. I just don't see what this dude fails at the NFL level. I guess is my point. Like I'm having a hard time like okay, he's a good run defender. He's a really good pass rusher. He's strong. He has a really high ball IQ. Like, what am I missing here? Like dominated the Senior Bowl. Like nobody could cover him in one-on-ones. It's I look. I'm really high on him, and I think he's just like as sound of an edge rusher as you can get, and he fits what you're looking for athletically to a T, essentially.
Yeah, I didn't watch like you with Sutton. I haven't watched enough.
And
Like,
I literally just like before this pod finished up my final two games of Zion Young, and this was my
mm,
second watch through of his tape. And like I was, the first time I watched it, I was like, this dude has legitimate like round one juice, like seriously. But
mm,
I held off on it a little bit because consensus wasn't moving that way. And then I saw him in the Senior Bowl, and he is just Maxine Iheanacho, Monroe Freeling, like all these dudes who are going to be taking top 50, he's just dominating them rep after rep. And it's not the same shit over and over again. Like it's not the same bull rush. It's not the same bend. It's not the same, chop. It's different. It's varied, which is exactly what I'm looking for. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think he's really good.
oh yeah, no, I'll have to look into it more. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. There's always a couple of guys that I'm just way higher than consensus on, and
Hmm.
I just fail to understand what everybody else is seeing or not seeing.
Yeah,
So
and
I get where
like
you're coming from.
it's like you said earlier, it's February 3rd. So
Yeah, that's true.
like I could not right now, I could not compile you a top 10 list of defensive tackles. I could not do it.
No, I don't know if I could get you a top 10 list of any position right now other than edge because I've been working on it for the
I think
last like
receiver I could, but it
6 months.
would be gross. Like it really
Yeah,
would be gross.
receiver. I think I'd have like a top 8, and then I'd
Yeah.
just throw two guys
It
at
would
9
just
and
be
10.
guesses at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, that's about it because running backs, corners, safeties, quarterbacks. You got about one of them, and
Hmm.
check out
Yeah, you got one. You got one guy at
one
quarterback. Have
quarterback,
fun.
and then we're done. But
You
yeah,
got one
no,
quarterback, and then you got, hey man, Tyler Shuck got taken in the second round last year. Thought that was the worst pick I'd ever seen in my entire life, and I was wrong on basically every aspect. I wasn't wrong on my evaluation. Sometimes quarterbacks just like hit. They like they just do. I don't. That's why I don't scout quarterbacks because it's a waste of time.
yeah, it's a shot in the dark most of the time. Like I mean,
I was
you get your
seriously.
layups. Like you'll get your layups occasionally, like with Andrew Luck.
Yeah,
I
I think
mean,
for the most part, Caleb Williams was the
Caleb Williams
layup.
was a layup. I think Drake May. Personally, I think
He was,
thought
yeah.
Drake May was a layup. I mean, there were some people that didn't like him.
I didn't think
Um,
he'd be an MVP candidate, but like he was easy franchise quarterback, at least
yeah,
for
no,
me.
I agree. Um, but yeah, other than that, it's kind of just take a guess, take your best
Yeah.
guess.
I mean, it's February 3rd. Look, there are guys who get paid to do this that will have, top 200 big boards. We do not. Um, we're two dudes recording this on laptops. So, uh,
Yes, we
but it's fun. Love this shit. So, talked about Zion Young. We could jump into TJ Parker and RMT before we get to Bain and Bailey.
are. Okay.
You can you can do here. How about this? You do TJ Parker, and I can talk about R. Mason
Yeah,
Thomas.
yeah, you Oklahoma fan here. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, do you want me to start with Parker? Or do you want to go into RMT first?
Oh, you could start with Parker. That's fine.
So I have Parker at 3. I just
I got him at
think
4. So.
I just think he like how you were explaining Young.
Hmm.
I don't think there's anything Parker's bad at.
Yeah,
And I think he's going to test well.
he will.
Yeah,
100%.
he's going to test very well, and I don't think he's got like a bag like Bailey or Bain or even Sutton, but I think like his pass rush bag is good.
Yeah.
It's
It's
definitely not something
way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I'm watching him do it, and he never uses the same move 2 times in a row, and he's got like all of his moves are pretty solid, and then he's got he's got a good bull rush. He's got a good tight spin, and he can get low on his spin. He can bend. He can chop your hands away and move you because he's strong enough to just pick you up and set you aside. He
Right.
can reach and he can reach your inside pad and just kind of like get his like underneath your inside shoulder and get around you. Like he just does all of those well, and he's going. I think he's
Dude,
a great run defender.
real quick, there is like a minute difference between Zion Young and TJ Parker because, like you said, they're not identical players. TJ Parker's a better athlete, like hands down.
Mhm.
I just think Zion Young's a little bit more technically sound, but that's not like to say Parker isn't.
Yeah.
I think these are both like if they went at 17 and 18, I think that's perfectly fine. I
Yeah.
think there's like an obvious tier drop off after Bailey or Bane, but then I think it's those two in their separate tier, and then
Yeah.
RMT is
That's
kind of in like a weird tier by himself.
weird spot. Yeah, that's fair. I just the way you were talking about Young is just like I don't, and the way I was talking about Caden Curry, but just like up a tier or two tiers. Like I just don't see how it goes wrong, because like say his spin move doesn't play at the NFL level. Well, he's still got his bull rush. He's still got his chop. He's still got his leverage move where he can reach inside and move you. And
Right.
say one of those doesn't work, well then he's still got like 3 or 4 moves to fall back on. And he's got good length, good reach. He's strong.
Yep.
He's athletic. I think he's going to play well in the run. And I think my favorite thing about him is he's got counters. And it's really rare to see like young 20, 21, 22-year-old
He's
edge rushers.
super young in this draft,
Yeah,
too, by the way. I
yeah,
think he's
he
going to
is.
be 20 when he gets drafted, so.
Yeah, that's also another bonus. Not that it really matters.
It's like,
20
dude,
to
like
22, but
Akeem Messidor is going to be 30 when if he gets taken round one. He'll be 30 when his rookie contract is up. Like
yeah,
T.J. Parker, the math lines up. He will be just turned 25 years old.
yeah, he'll
So
be the same age that who you
Akeem Messidor is right
is
now.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like. Where was I going? Oh, his counters. Yeah, it's really rare for a young pass rusher to come into the NFL with like counters. Like we see edge rushers that get taken like super high, like top 5, 10, 15, like these blue chip pass rushers that don't really have counters when they come into the NFL.
Yeah.
Because it's not like a super common thing to just have when you're in your low, like young 20s.
Like
It's
those
something
guys
you,
go early.
Mhm.
Early. That's like
It's
the
something you like develop over your like the course of your NFL career. I mean,
What
some
it-
guys have had it. Like Myles Garrett had counters when he came out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I
Is,
mean, you look at Jadeveon Clowney, he didn't have any counters, and he went number
oh, you know,
one.
big bull rush guy.
Yeah, he was just straight bull rush, run
Yeah.
defense,
And it worked. And then he
Yeah, it
developed
did work.
counters.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Rashawn Gary, 0 counters. He was a defensive player of the year candidate before he tore his ACL. You get these like great pass rushers that come into the NFL, even when they're like highly touted first round picks, they don't have counters.
Yeah.
TJ Parker's got counters. He like
Yeah.
if he like missteps and gets into the body of a defensive line or an offensive lineman, he can like spin out of it. He can, I don't know how he does it, but like he can like get engaged with a lineman. A lineman can get his hands on him, and he can punch their wrists and just get their hands off immediately, and then just get around them right away. Like I think he's got the best counters in the class, and that's why I have him at 3. Just because I think he's super skillful, and he's got something that young pass rushers don't usually have.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, it's like sometimes it's not even about the counter working. It's just showing that you have the ability and the confidence to do the counter. So, like, sometimes you hit a spin move, for example. That's like a really popular counter. That's probably the one I see the most, especially if you get sealed along that edge. Like, because initially, if your pass rush plan is to bend the arc and then you get stopped out, you're going to spin naturally because that's where your momentum is carrying you. It's not about executing. It's about showing the ability to want to execute. So maybe he misses, this spin move. Maybe he misses the forearms of the offensive lineman. That's fine. He showed me that he knows where he's aiming his outside elbow to disengage from the offensive tackle. It's all like so nuanced, and like I do see that with TJ Parker. Like his wrists, or he knows how to get his hands on the wrists of the offensive lineman. He knows where the lower level of the pads are of the offensive lineman when he's executing a chop to just completely sway their momentum. Like so nuanced, and like you said, I think he's kind of weird. Like he doesn't have a huge bag of pass rush moves, but he has a really big bag of counters, which is like just odd. It's not like you typically don't see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's good because with his like, I don't think he's like got no bag of pass rush moves, but like you said, it's not super deep. But when you get kind of predictable, say you have like 2 moves or 3 moves that you use, like the offensive linemen are going to pick up on that, and you're going to like there's going to be reps where you just straight up lose right away.
Right.
And if you can just counter yourself out of that, like once
Mhm.
in every 3 times you like fuck up a rep, I mean that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
a third of your pass rush reps that you would have normally thrown away. You're right back in the play now, and
Right.
I just don't see that from. I mean, I
Mhm.
see it from Bailey and Bain,
Yeah.
but like other than those two, I don't see it from anybody else in this class other than
Yeah.
those three.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny transitioning to R. Mason Thomas here because he is the like complete opposite of that.
Mm,
He is pure speed to power,
yep.
pure speed around the edge. And I don't say that as a knock. I think he has the best get off in the class. Next to David Bailey, he's not doesn't have a better get off than David Bailey, but it's right there.
Yep.
And it's he does not have a crazy deep bag of counter moves. Like just I don't know if he really has any that he uses consistently, but this is like you are buying the athlete and you are buying the we're gonna put some muscle into his lower body and he's going to be one of the most physically dominant bendy edges in football. Think
Yeah.
Nick Bonito,
Yep.
think because that's what the Broncos did. Like it's very similar to that. You probably won't like he'll be taken early in the second round and you probably won't hear from him for a while until you've heard of him and then he's going to be a consistent double digit sack guy. I think like the bending the arc that he has is one of the most impressive like feats of athleticism any of these edges in this class has.
Mm,
And I've watched him for 3 years. I'm trying not to be biased as an Oklahoma fan. I mean, I have him at 5, so it's not like I have him at 1.
yeah, I have him at 5 as well.
It's like he has a lot to work on. He like needs to get stronger in his lower body. Like that has to happen. Otherwise, he will not play in the NFL. As of right now, he is like your Chop Robinson. You are going to play him on third downs, and that is it. Um, yeah, man, like just I'm buying the athlete. I'm buying the speed to power because that's not something everybody has, and
Mm,
he has the best speed to power in the class, like by far, hands down. It's not even
yeah.
close. Um, I also think he has a great motor. His head coach is Brent Venables, who's like, if you don't have a motor, you're not going to play.
Mm,
So, has to have a motor. He's not a bad run defender. I'd say he's just kind of a weird archetype. Like you don't necessarily want him, in on first and 10. Not necessarily. Not to say that he's bad, but like early on, you don't want him in on first
no,
and
not in
10.
the NFL. I don't think.
No, and 6'2", what 235, 245, something like that. I'm not sure. He didn't weigh in at the Senior Bowl, so I don't know. Gotta see. A lot of his draft stock is going to be how does he test? Because if he
Mm,
tests like really really well, he'll go in the first round. He just will because those guys go in the first round.
yeah, yeah, 100%.
And if he doesn't test well, which I think it'll be kind of somewhere in the middle, he'll probably go early day 2. Late if he doesn't test well, he'll go late day 2. But if he tests well, he'll go really early day 2. Uh, I don't really have much else to say. I mean, he's kind of a one-trick pony at this point, but like the one trick he has is as good as anybody else's one trick in the class, I guess.
Yeah, and
Uh,
oh, sorry, keep going.
no, you're good. My thought ended there. You're good.
I would be so much lower on him if he didn't have the best bend in the class outside of
Hmm.
Bain,
Yeah.
but he does, and so
Yeah.
his speed to power, it's like, it's not his bend isn't really technically a counter because he doesn't really have counters because he just
No,
uses
it's
speed
it's
to power.
literally just a dip and rip, or I'm gonna try to bull rush you.
Yeah, and
That's it.
the thing is like he can get like caught up, and most of the time he's not getting out of it because he, like you said, doesn't have any counters. But like
Hmm.
he can occasionally just bend underneath another human being and just
Yeah,
somehow
yeah.
just appear on the other
That's
side of him.
that's where the height and speed like meshes together, and when you pair that height with that speed and explosion, and like this, it's not just like he's bending around the corner because he's faster and quicker. He understands like, okay, how low does my shoulder need to get against this tackle? Where does
Mhm.
where do I need to lock my elbow in to turn this corner? Where do my hips need to be relative to the offensive tackle and the ground? Like He'll literally have reps where he watches the tackle's like footwork, how he sets up, and then he'll attack based off of that. Like he'll set up inside and then he'll bend again, and it's not he's not crazy nuanced outside of the bending the edge, but dude, he's just so good around the edge, and like
Yeah,
that is hard to find. So
yeah, and it's like, yeah, does he have one pass rush move that he kind of just spams? Yeah, but
yeah,
a lot, and I mean a lot of these like incoming rookie pass rushers, they start with one move
yeah.
because
If
in college one move works. So it's
mhm.
like if you're a freak athlete and you have one really good move against college guys and it's gonna work, why would you mess around with it? Like,
And that's why he's gonna go below guys like T.J. Parker and Zion Young because those guys are further along in their development. He's
and
a
I
further
don't think
along
it's
athlete, but yeah.
yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. I think he'll add a second move within his
Mhm.
second year,
Yeah.
and I, I just because most of the time, like these guys that are like speed to power guys that just can't do much of anything else, I'm not a huge fan of. Like, it's not the same because uh, Nolan Smith was, that's his name, right?
Nolan Smith, he was more just
Nolan Smith. He
speed.
was speed. He wasn't
Yeah.
speed to power, but it was like similar enough, and he was a one trick. I didn't like him.
Hmm.
He ended,
Yeah.
he's ended up
Ended up
carving out a
working
pretty
out.
nice
Yeah.
role. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's working out right now. But like guys like that, I usually don't like. But RMT's bend is just something else.
Normally I agree. Like normally I'm not either, but when it's so clearly like way better than everybody else's, you kind of have to make exceptions sometimes,
Yeah, and
and that's
I'm just a
with him.
sorry.
No, you're good. Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry, I was just gonna say I'm just a fan that like I see a world where he's getting 12 sacks a year, like
Yeah.
by his third or fourth year,
Hmm.
and there's just not a whole lot of guys in the class like that. Like
Yeah.
Bailey and Bain, you could get me. I mean, even Bain, I don't know how many sacks he's gonna. I think Bain's gonna be awesome, but
Yeah.
there's a world where he's not a like a mid-teen sack guy or like
Yeah.
even like 12 sack guy a year. I mean, at RMT, there's a world where he's like consistently 11 to 13 sacks a year.
Hmm.
Like, go if he's your number two edge, you're a very happy
Yeah.
coach, GM, whatnot.
And we you talked about Bane. We could talk about because I honestly want to talk about Bailey last because I'm probably gonna end up putting Bailey at one. I want to rewatch Ruben Bain one more time just to see if I get swayed in another direction. Um, but do you want to talk about Bane or do you want to talk about Bailey first?
We can talk about Bain first.
Okay, Bane, 5-star out of high school. Played as soon as he stepped on foot onto the campus at Miami. Or was he a 5-star? I think he was a 5-star. I could be wrong. He was a highly touted prospect, is my point, and played as soon as he got on stepped foot on campus at Miami. Never really once looked out of place. I mean, he's been a grown man amongst boys for 3 years now.
Yeah.
And now he is a lot more chiseled out. His frame is a lot more like what you want it to look like.
Hmm.
And then you get to his tape, man. He is a fucking destroyer of worlds in some games, man. Like
Yeah, it's
there are some games where it's like this dude could be the best defensive player in football, like in the entire sport
mhm.
if he hit his 100th percentile outcome. There's certain things with his game that like do worry me. Like it's hard not to get worried about the arm length. I
Yeah.
think it's a little overblown, but like it's hard not to just think about okay, like he would have to be a physical outlier of outliers, you know? It's not like his arm is a 16th of an inch away. I mean, it's going to be an inch and a half shorter than your stereotypical edge. So
Mhm.
it's a fear, but it doesn't negatively affect his game in a way that should worry anybody. He doesn't get captured by offensive tackles because of his arm. It doesn't happen. Like
No.
it just simply doesn't happen. And you'd think for a guy this big, he wouldn't be like really smart with his pass rush plan, his pass rush IQ. Dude, he's so smart. He's so smart. I could go on and on about like the things he does well. I just think like bottom line, he's going to be a physical force like as soon as he steps foot into the NFL. Don't know where you play him like at the end of the year, I'm not sure where he'll get the most snaps. Like it could be at 3 tech, or it could be out wide. I don't know. Just such a dominant player, such a dominant force. Just does everything really well. Like you
Yeah.
said, I don't think he'll like ever lead the league in sacks or anything, but could he lead the league in tackles for loss? Like 100%.
Yeah.
100%. He could do that as a rookie. It's a possibility.
Yeah. I I don't. Nobody's Miles Garrett because Miles Garrett is one of one,
Hmm.
going to retire as the best defensive player to ever step foot on earth.
Yep.
But like, and I'm not making this comparison because I do have David Bailey at 1, Ruben Bain at 2. So I do think David Bailey's better, at least
Yeah.
as of now. But like, there's a world where it's like the Miles Garrett versus T.J. Watt thing,
Hmm.
where it's like Miles Garrett's like clearly the better player. Watt puts up like the sack numbers up until this
Yeah.
year, obviously.
Right.
But he like I don't even know. There's just not much to like critique about it. Like yeah, he's got short arms, but he's just stronger and bigger than all of the linemen that try to put hands on him. So even if he
Yeah.
gets hands on him, he's just going to push through you. And if say he's going up against Penei Sewell or some behemoth of a man that's stronger than he is, he's more than likely a whole hell of a lot faster and a whole
Hmm.
hell of a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Like I just the short arms thing, yeah, you have to talk about it. It has to be a thing. Like you can't just completely ignore it. But I'm about as close as you can be to completely ignoring it because I really don't care.
Like, does it really matter? Like, the get off is so insane that he's going to be inside the tackle's frame before it even matters. Like,
Yeah,
and I don't think it's just like, oh, he's doing it in college. It doesn't matter. Like, if you have an insane get off, it has nothing to do with your competition level at all whatsoever.
yeah.
If you have an
He's got an
incredible,
insane get off, and he's what 270 pounds.
yeah, I
Like
mean,
the
he's
best.
a 275. Like, I, I'm really curious to see what he weighs in at the combine because I'd assume they want him to like lighten up a little bit just so he can test better.
Mhm.
But like, is that what teams want to see, or do they want to see him dominate the strength drills? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. See what he tests at like 270, 275.
Right.
But yeah, like his first step, it's not David Bailey's, but he's also 25 pounds heavier than David Bailey.
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah.
it's up there with like the other like small speedster edges in the class, and he's 275 pounds. He's one of the heaviest edges in the class, and
Hmm.
he's got one of the best get offs. Like you don't see that. There's
Yeah.
you can count them on one hand how many pass rushers in the NFL that weigh as much as weighs as much as he does and gets off like even close to as fast. There's just not guys like that.
Yeah.
You don't get the like size and quickness and speed very often. And when you do, I think it would be really stupid and really poor management to be like, oh, well, his arms are half an inch shorter than this guy's, so no thanks. Like,
And I don't think, like, at least in my opinion, like, he's like probably gonna go 3, 4, or 5. Like, this is not, the arms aren't gonna affect his draft stock like at all. But like, it's going to be a talking point. Um, I don't know. I don't know what. And free agency hasn't happened, so like nobody fucking knows, what any team is really going to do outside of Vegas. But like, arm length discussion to be had, sure, whatever. Like, I'm not going to entertain that because there's simply no world in which the arm length is the reason that he fails. The
yeah, no,
reason that he would fail would be because he is a tweener and can't ever establish a full role.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
maybe we should have discussed Arvil Reese on this episode as well, but I guess we can talk about him in the linebackers because I think that's more of what he is.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't have much else to add on Bane.
He's
I'm
he's just awesome, and my only fear is I'm like the odds are I'm gonna feel super stupid in like 2 years having Bailey over him, which I mean, Bailey's gonna be
I don't
awesome
know.
too, so it's like
I'm willing to take the chance.
because I guess this is a good segue into David Bailey. So yeah, I have David Bailey 1, and the reason for that is I think he might just have a 20 sack season, and then I think he
Yeah.
might have another one, and then I think he might have another one, and then just keep doing it.
And then he's just
forever.
Miles Garrett.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he and typically like these speed guys that like rack up sacks and stuff, like in college, like even we saw it even with Will Anderson, who's less of a speed guy than Bailey is. Like
Hmm.
Will Anderson in his last year of college, because his junior year, or sophomore year, whatever it was, where he was like the greatest human being on planet
Yeah,
Earth, where he had
yeah.
like 40 sacks. That's different. But his final year of college, he had a good year still, but like he kind of regressed as a run defender, and
Hmm.
he wasn't a bad run defender by any means, but he certainly wasn't great. David Bailey, for his size, like I want to like watch his tape and be like, there's no way he's gonna be a great run defender. There's no way he's
Hmm.
even gonna be like a good run defender. Like we gotta hope that he's gonna be average. Every time I watch it, like he sets the edge. He keeps containment. If a
Hmm.
running back tries to get outside of him, he's just probably faster than the running back trying to get outside of him.
Yeah.
He is long enough to reach running backs. He can come that.
I will forewarn everyone now, he will test in the 9.8 or 9.98, 9.97 range on the RAS.
Yeah, on the
It's
RAS
going
score.
to be
Yeah,
insane. He is going to be the fastest edge ever. I'm warning you right now. That is
yeah, and
going to happen.
it's like the amount of times I'm watching like a stretch play because their teams are like, I'm gonna run it away from David Bailey because I don't want David Bailey wrecking this game, and they run a stretch play to the other side of the field, and
And he
David
hawks
Bailey
them
gets there
down.
before anybody
Yeah.
else. It's like that. It
Yeah.
looked like a cornerback blitz because this dude just was a blur on the screen. Then all of a sudden, oh, it's David Bailey. Like
Hmm.
he's just so fast,
Hmm.
but he's not like with Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith was otherworldly fast, but he
Hmm.
was so small. I didn't know how his like run defense was because he was a bad run defender in college. I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way he's going to be even serviceable in the NFL.
And I mean,
But David
it
Bailey's
took him a full season and a half to become
yeah to
serviceable.
bulk up enough, but Dave Bailey's already big
Yeah.
and this fast, and he keeps contained, and he can just chase down any running back anywhere. And
Yeah.
he doesn't get moved by linemen in the run game. Like he's got a good foundation. He anchors well. That because like the way you would have Bain over Bailey is, you think Bailey's like going to be an average to slightly above or slightly below average run defender. And when I watch him, I think he's just going to be a good to great run defender, and then possibly just be the best pass rusher in football.
Yeah, I could say. I think I'd push back on like he's a great run defender. I think
That's
he's
fair.
like good right now. I think he does have to get stronger in his lower
Yeah.
body. It's the same thing
Mhm.
with our Mason Thomas. They got to get stronger in their lower body just to like handle the physicality of like combo blocks and duo blocks and
Yeah.
traps, and when offensive linemen get momentum coming
Hmm.
towards your direction, like they'll run at you in the NFL. They'll run
Yeah.
directly at you in the NFL. They don't give a fuck if you're a top 5 pick, top 3
Yeah,
pick,
no,
whatever.
he's gonna get run at because he is not super big and he
Hmm.
does need to get stronger. I just when like
But that's not to say he's a bad run defender.
no,
He
no, no,
actually
no.
is a good
I
run
know what you're
defender.
saying. Like, I don't think he's going to be a great run defender. I think he's going to fall more in the category of good. But like,
Hmm.
there's a world he's just a great run defender, and because
Yeah.
I'm watching, it's like I don't think he's going to be a great run defender in the sense of like a Miles Garrett, where Miles Garrett just gets in the backfield because he's huge and athletic and just like
Hmm.
makes tackles for loss. But like I think you're not going to run outside zones to David Bailey's side because unless you have like an
If
otherworldly
you're doing it, you better have an inline tight end who can chip. And
yeah, and you
yeah,
not even just a chip. You better kill him. You better
yeah,
have
yeah.
him on his
He
ass
needs to be on the ground.
because you can chip him as hard as hell, and he's going to get up and outrun your running back.
And this better not be no fucking Dalton Kincaid in line tight end. You better have a
No,
fucking Jackson Haas or a Darnell Washington back there to block
this yeah,
him.
this needs to be a chip from hell.
Yeah.
And
And then maybe even run a double backfield or a double running back backfield set. Have a running back pull, a
yeah,
pull side running back, and then double chip David Bailey.
yeah, and you're not running outside zones to his side, so that alone has value.
Mhm.
And he's not going to stuff runs up the middle, but he doesn't need to. Like he doesn't. And
Yeah, that's not
I
going to be
think
his role.
if anyone in this class is a consistent 15 plus sack guy, it's David Bailey.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of like underselling how premier of a pass rush talent he is. He
He's
is
awesome.
one of the best. I'm telling you, it does not get much better than him. And I, to me, it's like I almost think he's scheme proof in the sense that there are certain guys you watch their tape and you're like, that guy just moves at a different speed than everybody else. He just moves with a different like I don't want to say like tenaciousness, just moves with a different level of like skill and
Yeah.
athleticism. And he out athletes guys, but like that's not like why you're buying
Yeah.
David Bailey. You're buying
No,
him because he out athletes guys and he will out athlete a lot of NFL players. He also is super skilled. He's super
yeah.
duper skilled. Like pass rush bag out the ass, like spin move, dip and rip, chop, like bull rush, around the edge, like what
Literally everything.
long arm. Like dude, he could do literally everything.
He does absolutely everything. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but purely as a pass rusher, it's the best one I've ever scouted. He is the
Yeah,
best pure
it's
pass
hard.
rusher I've ever scouted. Granted,
Yeah,
22 years old, haven't like been like I've probably been watching NFL prospects and like scouting for I don't know 5 6 years,
yeah.
and
I'm really trying to think. Like as far as pure,
just
just
pure as a pass
rushing the
rusher.
passer.
So in like last 5 6 years,
Maybe
like Abdul
maybe
Carter.
like Latu. I don't know.
I think because he's just way more athletic than Latu.
Yeah, I
Latu
know
had
it's not even
the same
close.
amount of counters and all that, but like he
He's
was
just
half
as
the
skilled,
athlete.
but yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And
I don't really know now that I think about it.
because
I'd
you
have to.
got because you got Carter, I think he was better than Carter.
Yes, I would
You
take David Bailey over Abdul Carter if
yeah
in a vacuum. Yeah,
yeah, and you had Will Anderson as a prospect, which I think Will
that
Anderson
one
was
would be tough.
probably
Yeah, that one would be tough.
because I think Will Anderson was a lot like David Bailey, but he was
Mhm.
a little bit bigger, and Bailey's a little
and
bit more athletic.
did it for longer at a higher level
Hmm.
at
Yeah,
Alabama. So yeah, I guess you'd probably
I
have to
think
go back to Will Anderson. That's probably the
that's
last one.
that's probably the argument. I mean,
And it's like, dude, that guy could win a Defensive Player of the Year at some point in
he
his career. He
almost
could
did
win
this year.
multiple.
He's gonna finish third this year, I think. If that's what the odds are saying, third or
Yeah,
fourth.
yeah. I'm trying to think who would be ahead of him at two.
You're gonna have Garrett's gonna win it.
Because
You're
it's
gonna
gonna be
have
yeah,
is Benito number two.
yeah. It's probably gonna be Benito. But then yeah, you're talking about Will Anderson. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I
like
think Will Anderson would be 3 or
if that's the
4.
comp, and I don't think that's the comp because I think they're like different players. But I
They're
get
different players for sure,
like
but like
if
hands
that's
down.
like your what your ceiling can be, it's like, dude, that's a top five pick, man. Like that's just you're staring at it right in the
I,
face.
so we've talked about film watchers on this show, or on this pod
Go.
before, and he broke down David Bailey, and he said that he was the best player in the class, and
Yeah.
I 1,000% echo that. I think
I
he's the
think
best player in
it's
the class.
him or Downs, or I almost said Love Lemon.
Yeah, you do like Lemon a
I
lot.
do like and I honestly you could say Love too. Like I would hear out Love as well. But I like
Yeah, just,
as far as like how close they are to being a All Pro tomorrow. Like yeah, it's Bailey. Like
yeah,
it's
and I mean
just
those
David
guys
Bailey.
are awesome. You're not drafting a safety that high. You're not drafting a running back that
No,
high.
no,
I,
especially not Caleb Downs. Like we've kind of lost the plot on Caleb Downs. I like Caleb Downs. He is not Kyle Hamilton. He should
yeah.
not be taken like he's Kyle Hamilton. He's not.
That is the whole thing because Kyle Hamilton, I had him as my number one player
I
in
mean, he
that
was an
draft.
alien human, like
Yeah,
just
and for some
literally
reason he
one of
fell to
one
the teens,
generational prospect at that position.
and he fell to the teens.
14,
Because
dude, ridiculous. And that's probably where Caleb Downs is going to fall. And he's
that's what
going to be an All Pro. Like he's going to be, but it's just he's not. He's not Kyle Hamilton,
yeah,
unfortunately.
no,
I'm
I see
sorry.
a lot of people talking about like, oh, look what happened with Kyle Hamilton. He fell, and people made it like or regretting it. He's not Kyle Hamilton. He's
He's
not Kyle
so
Hamilton.
no, he's so much
Kyle,
more Antoine Winfield than he is
yeah.
Kyle Hamilton, and
Hmm.
it's not even funny. And I think he's better than Antoine Winfield was coming out.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways,
Kyle Hamilton's linebacker, safety, slot corner, defensive end, the
defensive
best.
tackle,
Yeah,
wide
I mean,
receiver, tight end.
when people like start talking about Caleb Downs and Kyle Hamilton in the same breath, I just have to walk out of the room.
Yeah, it's gross. It's like, yeah, I mean, and it takes away from how good Caleb Downs is. Like Caleb Downs is an awesome safety prospect. This is a lock first round pick for at safety.
You
A
don't get
lock
those.
first round pick at safety. Those do not exist. And he's going to be that. Like he is twice the player that Malachi Starks or Nicky Manwari was last year coming into the draft.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So,
I echo that on Starks. He is definitely a better prospect than Nicky Manwari was.
it looks bad now, but go back a year. Nobody was thinking Nicky Manwari was going to be what he is now. Not a
Yeah,
single
no,
person.
I 100% agree. I personally was very high on Nick Manwari because safety,
Yeah, I
like you were
fucked
saying
that.
at the
I fucked that one up, dude.
beginning of the
That was bad.
pod, you were saying like how athleticism really matters for certain positions, and safety's one of them.
I didn't even
I didn't
follow
even
my own
care about the
rule.
tape. I didn't even care about the tape. His tape was fine. I didn't care. He was 6'4", 230 pounds, and he was the fastest human being on the planet. I
We're
didn't
gonna
care
we're,
about anything else.
we're gonna get back in the lab and we're gonna learn from it. That's all I'm gonna say because I fucked that one up so bad. That was the easiest. Like, what do I even get? What happens if I lose? It's like, oh, you took the shot on the 6'4" fucking freak
You got
Greek
scared
god
of Isaiah
safety.
Simmons.
Well, yeah. Okay, look, I'm gonna get scared of Isaiah Simmons. Anytime I see a 6'4" safety, I'm gonna get scared of Isaiah Simmons. Like it's the
Yep.
D'Angelo Pons argument, which we will talk about in a future
Don't
episode.
you ever
But
talk negatively about
it's going
D'Angelo
to happen.
Pond.
I'm sorry.
That is
There literally is
quarterback
nothing negative to
number
talk about
2.
D'Angelo Pons.
That is Sam Shields. Sam
There's
Shields Jr.
there's legitimately nothing bad about his game other than the fact that he is a very small 5'8", which is just like,
Yeah.
what, could you not just be 5'10" and then just be the best nickel ever? Like,
Yeah, just go
please.
be Jair Alexander.
Yeah, like what are
Be Jair Alexander.
what are we doing here? Anyways,
Probably
we've lost the plot entirely.
Yeah, we're kind of all over the place, but it's fine.
David Bailey, good football player. Ruben Bain Jr., good football player. I'll go through my 10 through 1 real quick just to wrap it up. Got Cassius Howell at 10, Caden Curry at 9, Keldrick Falk 8, Romello Height 7, Akeem Messidor 6, R. Mason Thomas 5, TJ Parker 4, Zion Young 3, David Bailey 2, Ruben Bain Jr. 1.
Okay, and I can go through mine. I had Anthony Lucas at 10. I had Zion Young at 9. I had Cassius Howell at 8. I had Sutton at 7. Caden Curry at 6. RMT at 5. Folk at 4. TJ Parker at 3. Ruben Bain at 2. And then David Bailey at 1.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this episode of the Ball and Blitz podcast. It's always appreciated anytime you listen to us, whether it be NFL, NBA, NFL draft, NBA draft. Doesn't even matter. If you're listening at all, I appreciate you. You are appreciated. As always, let us know what you would like us to talk about in the comments. We're going to continue this draft stuff. We're obviously going to talk about the Super Bowl, but after the Super Bowl, it's all draft. It's all draft
we'll
all the
probably get
time. And free
I
agent.
want to say we'd get into the NBA, but by that time it's going to be March basketball.
It is March
Nobody
basketball.
wants to talk about that.
I was about to say, March basketball is, unless it's college, it is not getting spoken about. And I will not talk about college basketball unless it's the Natty. So,
Unless it's Bennett Sturts.
shout out Bennett
Anyways,
Sturts.
let's wrap this up.
Yeah, the NBA draft segments will be fun. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll catch you in the next one.